Welcome again to You Made That, the podcast about makers, making, and the things that we make, kinda, sorta, maybe, I don't know. With me, as always, is the lovely Bob Blanford and, oh, wait a minute, strike that, reverse it, the lovely Rebecca DeGroot and Bob Blanford.
It's not very nice, Michael. You hurt my feelings.
I think he's sorry. Lovely.
Thank you, Rebecca. You're lovely, too.
In your way, just like me. How's everybody doing this week?
Great. Just great.
Just awesome.
Oh, yeah. Just awesome, Michael. Thanks for asking.
Fantastic.
So I got to tell you, after our whole Shop Squirrel maybe recorded 1.5 speed, when I was editing this last week's show, I started listening just to the whole thing at 1.5 speed. I really think we need to do a show that way. Just the three chipmunks going on and on about wood turning.
So we'll do that the next time we record accidentally for 1.5 hours.
I think what we need
Cut
to
the show
do...
down to 45 minutes.
Yes.
I think what we need to do is talk really slow, then speed it up to 1.5 speed so it sounds normal.
Yeah.
Or we slow it down to negative 1.5 speed, you see.
Oh, gosh.
And we do the Stephen Wright thing.
Oh, that would drive me crazy.
So our podcast is not out yet, though. You were talking about listening to it, Michael. I've been watching all day for it. What's the haps?
It's out.
It's not showing up in my podcast
well, you
software.
might want to hit refresh on that.
I did. Well, it just came out. It must have just come out not too long ago because we were out driving around and we bought the kids a new car. And we were out driving around in their new car and they were taking us for a spin. The wife and I were sitting in the back seat. We were being chauffeured and I kept flipping my phone looking for the podcast. So, okay, I'm glad it came out. I like to listen to it before the show because then I can talk about, I can kind of add on to things that happened last week. So I'm going to have to take a break. I'll be back in, 1 hour and 17 minutes. And we could talk about, we can get this podcast going.
Sweet. So, Rebecca, what's been going on in your life this last week?
Well, that's a great question. What has been going on in my life?
How about what hasn't been going on? Might be easier.
Hey, I've had a lot of things going on. It's just not exactly what I want to be going on. This is a weird weekend. So I did almost nothing, but Saturday I did something, which was great. I'm one step closer to my goal. I posted it on our Instagram, I think, and I'm not welding yet, but I did get the angle grinder out, put the cutoff wheel on the angle grinder, figured out how to clamp metal rod to a table with sawhorses, basically just a piece of wood with sawhorses on it, or that's on sawhorses. And then I don't have clamps that'll easily hold a metal rod, so I made these little pieces of wood with just a V groove cut out of the bottom of them so that it could just kind of very gently hold onto the metal, and ended up clamping one of them too hard and split the wood, so I had to throw that one away. And you know what's funny is the pieces of wood, some people, especially probably segmenters and pen turners, would probably freak out that I'm using these as clamping wood because it's like big old chunks of walnut.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I thought about it after the fact. I was like, this is my scrap. I could make other things out of this after I split them apart. So I will probably use them for something. I'm not going to throw them away, and I am getting as much use as possible from them. So that's nice, and don't be mad at me. But if you do get mad at me and you decide to be a troll, you might be on our future Troll the Troll episode. If we ever get enough trolls, which I have been getting a lot more weird messages, but no trolls, not lately, as far as I know.
Can we take this back? I'm looking at what you did on Instagram. I saw it earlier. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be a metal spider web that's going to go maybe on the corner of your porch or something? What?
It's going to be a metal spider web.
Okay.
That I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I had a couple ideas. So it could hang something from the porch. That was one of the thoughts. And, of course, I'm thinking a little baby spider on a little chain. But then I was like, but what's the point of that? Because I'm still stuck in that mindset must be functional. And just a little decorative thing isn't really functional. So then I thought maybe it could be a bracket for a shelf. Maybe just do a little single bracket small shelf that I weld a piece of plate metal to the top of and do something like that. And then I was like, okay, what else could I do with it? I could make a really heavy fancy fan and just like fan myself with my spiderweb fan and hope that I don't poke myself with it, because knowing me, that's what's going to happen. And I plan on sharpening the ends, of course, at least a little bit. I was like, do I want that near my face? Probably not. Do I want it hanging on a wall that it could potentially fall? I'm like,
you could make it into an architectural piece. I think it's called a corbel.
A corbel, yeah, for a shelf.
Yeah, especially if you're going to, sharpen those points. Because, with people walking by it all the time, you can definitely make some good scars with it.
Yeah, I like my house to be especially dangerous.
Yeah, because I keep thinking if you do something like a corbel, it's really cool like that, or even as a spider web. But when I see it, you want to know what it makes me think of?
What?
Danny Koker. Do you know Danny Koker? Counts Customs.
I don't know.
He's on like Discovery Channel or something, and he does one of those car shows where they take cars and they rebuild them. And he's really into the macabre. He sleeps in a coffin. I mean, he's or not all the time, but he has one in his office. He's a really cool dude. But wow, I can't believe you guys don't watch Counts Cars.
What's his name?
Or Counts Customs. Danny Koker. I think it's Coker, Danny Koker. And he has a band called...
the guy that used to be on
Count 77?
Stars?
He was on there every now and then. He came in and looked at the cars they were looking at to see if they were worth anything or give them an idea what it was worth. Yeah. He's got a band called Count 77, I think, and got a restaurant, bar, tattoo parlor. He's well-diversed.
Well, hello, Danny Koker. Look at you and your car stuff that I'm now Googling.
Yeah.
So he does spiderweb things?
He does a little bit of everything. He's I don't know. He's a fun guy to watch. He's a character, right? And it's really more about the characters than it is about the cars, because you can get custom cars anywhere. Although he does make some incredible custom cars, but he's got a shop full of characters, right? Mm-hmm. So, but yeah. There's one tangent, Mike. You said you wanted tangents tonight.
Okay, tangents, yeah.
Hey,
I got them.
Spiderweb related.
Yeah, it was. So run a tangent. That's legit.
Yeah. So I'm working on that, and I got all the pieces cut, and I'm hoping I'm going to take Wednesday off because I've got a doctor's appointment, and it's definitely going to take all day. So, and then Friday might be my first opportunity that I can go and work with the welding teacher. And if I can do that, if he doesn't have his calibration scheduled for Friday, then we should be good to go. I'm going to probably go and visit with him at some point before then this week so that I can just make sure that he's still okay with it. But even if he's not, I've got an offer from a friend of mine who lives in another area of Texas that he might just come by and show me how to weld. And awesome. I really just need to get somebody to get me started and then teach me anything to keep me and my house safe. Because I'm already thinking I'm going to do it in the driveway. I'm thinking I might want to just take my car and block my entire driveway with it and maybe the sidewalk so that people have to walk around and won't stare into the light, because I have nothing to hide the general public from the welding light that is not safe to look at.
No.
So
there'll be an ad in the thing in the paper: sudden uprising in blind children.
Well, there's only
in
two children
right?
that live really close, and I'm going to probably warn their dad and be like, hey, maybe have them not come by today. The sparks will be flying. And I'm concerned, too, because it's winter, and I feel like my hair is exceptionally flammable lately. So I've got my ball caps ready, and I'm going to put it up. It's actually purple today. I've been breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, get yourself a nice toque and put your hair up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to hide. It's going to hide completely. So I'm excited about it. And that's really all I've been doing. I haven't been in the shop. I was getting ready to come in here, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go get the podcast room ready. I gotta set the table to the right height, set the light to the right height, get everything set up. And I come in here and I was like, have I not done anything in here all week? I haven't done anything like all week, other than I took some mop to the floor under the bench because there's some stuff going on down there. But yeah, other than that, it's like, what have I been doing? Nothing. I've been staring at a lot of stuff. I booked another flight to Chicago because I'm doing it again at the end of this month. Wow. And then there's another class that might be filling up for March if I confirm the date. So that's
awesome. So now, when you go up here at the end of this month, at the end of February, is this the mom 5-daughter class, or is this?
No, this is another class that is that filled up right away before the mom and 5-daughter knew about it. So the mom and 5-daughter maybe will be the March class.
Okay.
So I just need to confirm the dates, make sure that I actually have those dates still available, because we planned them a while back, like December, I think, is when we were talking about it, and I don't know if I scheduled something over it. And I have a demo this week too. I have to look into what I'm actually doing. I think it's walking mushrooms again, but walking mushrooms is fun.
You're awful busy.
When do you have time to teach?
You know,
that's just a sideline, Michael. It's a hobby.
7 to 3. And then I come home, and I've actually, the last couple days, I've actually gotten like a good amount of sleep. I don't usually do that. I think that's why I'm gaining weight, is I don't get enough sleep. And so not sleeping, forgetting to drink water, those are like 2 big contributing factors of weight gain. I've realized that. So I can see it in selfies that my face isn't as slim as it usually used to be. I'm like, I should probably get more than 4 hours a night.
Well, you haven't reached Dunlap yet. You don't have Dunlap, do you?
I don't know what that is.
That's what us guys get when our belly Dunlapped over our belt.
Oh,
that's
no.
Dunlap.
and then we have a spare tire. Oh.
Yeah,
no, not yet. I do have a little pot belly that I keep hugging, and I was like, what is that? Where did this come from?
It sneaks up on you. It's harder and harder to get rid of the older you get.
I mean,
trust me.
It's kind of cute. It is like a little pot belly, though. I was like, okay, this wasn't there before.
Yep.
So Henry and I have been going to the gym a lot too. So
I got a 55-gallon barrel belly, so I trust me. I know what you're talking about.
I got furniture disease. My chest is crawling into my drawers.
Hey, that's related to the podcast, right?
It kind of is, yeah.
Hey.
It's woodworking.
Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about my physique.
Cool.
I think that was all I was going to talk about. What have you guys been doing?
Well, I've been working on pens.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. I actually got to spend 8 hours each day, Saturday and Sunday, out in the shop, uninterrupted, working on the pens, the 30 pen order.
That sounds amazing. Uninterrupted?
Uninterrupted. I didn't have a honey-do list or anything. It was great.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I'm jealous.
So I'm now to the point of all I have to do is put on the final few coats of CA and polish them up, and they're good to go.
Do you have trouble with your CA?
Get those done tomorrow.
Do you have trouble with your CA in the wintertime?
I keep my shop heated all the time, around 65 degrees.
Okay.
So they stay fine at that.
Yeah. I had an issue with my CA being old, but then I've also noticed with the air being so dry, and now keeping it heated, that probably is helping with a little bit of moisture in the air, but with the air being so dry, the CA doesn't want to cure quite as quickly. So I just wondered if you saw the same phenomenon in your shop.
Actually, right now, the moisture in my shop is decent because of the space wood. The guy who had it before me had stored it outside, so it got rained on a lot. Oh. So there's still moisture coming out of that. Last year in the wintertime when I ran the heater, there would be no condensation on the window. And this year there's a ton of it on there, almost enough that it's running down the door.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question. In regard to the space wood, being stored outside and being damp, and then you're making pens out of it, are you worried about, as it dries, potentially being so thin that it would crack or bust?
There is some checking already in the wood, but what I'm planning on doing is cutting off the check section, cutting the blanks out, and microwaving them.
Okay.
To get the moisture out. It'll probably warp it a little bit, but it shouldn't cause it to check.
Okay. Good. I was just curious. Now, do you do that in your microwave, or do you have a microwave in your shop just for that? Because it's pretty stinky.
I'm going to have to get a microwave for the shop to do that.
Yeah. It gets pretty stinky. Yeah. Sorry to be asking so many hard questions, but these are good topics. People like to hear stuff like this because you don't think about that all the time. You go cut a branch off of your tree and turn a pin, and next thing you know, it splits. Well, why did it split? Well, it's damp, and you need to maybe dry it or let it dry. And so, but yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to start checking out the local Goodwill store and Salvation Army and see if they've got any old microwaves for sale.
So for those of us that don't microwave wood on a regular basis, I've heard how long to microwave for, right? So do you wrap it in the paper towel when you microwave?
This is going to be the first time I've ever done it.
Oh, so you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I don't have a procedure down, but from what I understand, you microwave it on high for a minute.
Okay.
Well, first you weigh it. You get the starting weight. You microwave for a minute. You reweigh it. As long as the weight is going down, you keep microwaving it for an additional minute. And as soon as you plateau and stop losing weight, it's dry.
Okay, so you don't wrap it?
No. I could see wrapping it with paper towel, maybe wick away the moisture.
Right.
But you're already boiling it off and changing it to vapor, so I could see that potentially being a problem because then you would have this wet paper towel.
Not
on
necessarily.
The thing that you're trying to dry.
Right. Well, I've heard that people just change out the paper towel each time. Yeah,
exactly. And the reason why you want to use the paper towel, it is expensive, but then hang them over something in your shop to dry and reuse them. But the reason why you want to do that is because it turns the water to vapor and then it condenses on your microwave, and that's what makes it stink. But if you catch the vapor in the towel as it's coming off of the blank, then just hang that towel up and put another one over it. And you could rotate through 6 or 7 towels. They might dry pretty quickly in your shop, being that it's heated. That will maybe help with some of the odor in the microwave because it keeps that moisture from getting onto the walls and the door of your microwave or into the vents.
Okay.
That's what I'd always heard. Now, Michael, I've never done it because I don't have a shop microwave, and I wouldn't dare do that in the home microwave because,
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
What did I do? I did something in the oven, the house oven, a couple of weeks ago. But,
did you bake some burls?
No, I remember now. It was when I put the tubes into the blanks for the pens. It was 30-minute glue, and I wanted to be able to do something with them that night. Start sanding them to true up the ends. But with this long cure time, I was like, it's going to take forever. So I popped them into the oven about 200 degrees and let them cook for an hour.
Did it work?
Oh, yeah, it worked great.
Cool. I'd never tried that.
There's 2 ways to speed up every chemical reaction. Add a catalyst.
And that was epoxy you were using?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
30-minute epoxy.
Okay, cool. I was curious. That's interesting. I've never heard or tried that before, but good to know.
And it doesn't mess with the strength?
No. It just speeds up the reaction between the epoxy and the hardener. Yeah,
like with CA, Rebecca, heat is one of the curing when it cures. Like if you spray accelerator on your CA, it causes it to instantly boil, and that heat is what makes it cure. So it's the same process with epoxy. It's just slower on a normal basis. So he's just giving it a little bit of a push.
And there are people that will heat cure their blanks when they make them. Either epoxy, Alumilite, liquid diamonds, anything like that. There is a prescribed temperature and time at which you can bake those blanks and cure them. Because normally I take the full cure on Alumilite is 7 days. for it to fully cure to its final hardness. Like, you can turn it before that.
Right.
I even tried it once where I turned it as soon as I demolded it. 2
Oh
hours.
my gosh. Oh my god.
You want to talk about something turning like hot butter? That stuff is great.
Did you see any shrinkage with it? Is that what you're getting at?
No, but it was soft in the center. It kind of took a polish, but it wouldn't come to that high finish. So I kind of poked around at it and pushed my fingernail into it, and it dented it.
Ooh, yuck! It's gummy. See, I've purchased blanks before from companies and turned them, and a year later, you will look, and the blank, it's an acrylic blank, will have shrunk, and you can see a gap between the cap and between the nib where that blank has literally shrunk. So I don't purchase those blanks any longer. So, but yeah, that happens. And I've had them before where they will shrink up so much that literally the CA, it's brittle, will break loose from the tube. I don't use CA anymore. I use epoxy now, but they do, some resins do shrink.
All resins shrink. It's just a question of how much.
Oh, I'll attest to that, because this weekend I got my lunch handed to me about 3 times on pins, and I finally figured out I was having trouble. My CA is gummy, so I can't do wood pins. I was doing resin pins, and those pins kept busting. When you would press the part in, they would split because they wouldn't expand, and it was because it was so dang cold. And I think that caused the material to shrink, and it didn't have its normal elasticity, and it burst on me. I do believe that's what got me this week. And finally, I got smart, and there will be no more acrylic pins done until it warms up.
Well, you can always turn on that, not propane, but
space heater?
Your kerosene heater.
Yeah, I tell you what.
85 degrees in there again.
Man, I love that thing. It heats up fast, but it needs a better way to control that heat. Because if you turn it off, it gets cold almost instantly. Then you got to start over. You know what I mean? That thing gets hot.
You can put it out in the big garage and just let the heat roll in through the door.
It doesn't work as well. I've tried that. I haven't quite dialed it in yet, Michael. There's got to be some way to, I don't know. There's got to be some way to tone that thing down a little bit. Maybe a newer model. That's an old model. I don't know. Maybe the newer ones are better.
Put in a drop ceiling. Cut down on the ceiling space that it has to heat.
Yeah, that would help. But with a drop ceiling, then I have to, I can't stick boards up there. I'll be bumping. I have a drop ceiling full of holes. I like my high ceilings. They keep me out of trouble. I can't tell you how many holes I've had to fix in hallways and laundry rooms where I was bringing a board in and I let it get a little too high because I'm used to being able to just whip them around. Yeah, that's happened. What else you been doing, Michael?
Up to, Bob?
Well, I had a great weekend in the shop. I spent the day out there Saturday working on a few things, a couple of pins, like I mentioned. And at the end of the day, I was just needing something. I'd had a couple of bad experiences with the acrylic style pins, different materials, not just acrylic, just different plastic materials. And I decided to have some fun, and I had some bottle caps on the bench. I thought, I'm going to turn a top. I'll put a bottle cap on it. And I did. I turned a simple top, and I drilled a hole in a bottle cap, and I glued it on there, showed it on Instagram, showed it on WhatchaDoinBob, and people went nuts for it. They loved it. And I guess it was just because it had the bottle cap on there, right? So I went out Sunday night, or Sunday day, and I shot a video making them, explaining how to do it. I'm editing that right now. It'll be out shortly. And then I started turning another pop box yesterday, and I was worried. I had a 6-inch piece of wood, right? And I put it on the lathe, and I trued it up, and I cut maybe about 2.5 inches off for the cap. And when I cut it off, I'm holding it in my hand, and I flip it over. I cut right through a knot, and I was like, "Oh man! If I would have seen that, I would have made that the body, because that's going to cause me some trouble." So I start hollowing out the cap, and it hollowed out nicely. I literally sanded it, had it ready for finish. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead now and cut the rabbit. So I start cutting the rabbit. I catch the knot. It exploded.
Oh.
So I lost it. I mean, it was a learning experience, because I know now, next time I'll pay close attention to the wood and make sure you're not cutting through some type of I don't want to call it a defect, because a knot really isn't necessarily a defect, but a feature or an anomaly in the wood. Make sure that I let the wood dictate, where to cut it, right? So I'll be making some more of them. They're fun to make, and I've been having a good time with them. But yeah, that's pretty much my weekend. So it was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
That reminds me, I had a little surprise when I was turning the pen blanks. You remember when I first started this, I told you it was pine wood floor. Turns out it's actual hardwood floor. It's maple.
Maple, yeah.
And some of it is actually bird's eye.
Oh, wow, nice.
A few small pieces. So I had a really nice one come out that had maybe 10 or 12 bird's eyes on it once it was finished.
That's
Love
awesome.
bird's eye maple. That's beautiful wood.
Oh, I do too.
I might have to hold on to that one, sell for $80 or something like that.
Ooh.
Chirp, chirp, chirp,
Do you
chirp.
guys ever go and have you done the pallet wood thing?
Which pallet wood thing?
Where you go and find pallets to use the wood?
Yes.
Have you found any good woods?
Yes.
What'd you find?
Maranta, which I think is like a Brazilian mahogany, or not Brazilian, Filipino mahogany or something. It's kind of got a little red to it. It's really beautiful. I brought home about 40 of them and made cooler boxes out of them. They looked really nice, really nice. But the bad thing is,
I've been able to find is white oak.
Well, the bad thing about the Maranta is it's. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's almost like it's brittle. I would set the cooler box down, and then if you would slide it, like when it's full, you would slide it. Pieces would like break off, so I'd have to glue them back on. So I stopped doing that because it was more brittle, right? So, but
yeah,
it's beautiful wood though.
Why do you have a project you're looking at for pallet wood?
No, and we have some pellets that we collected so long ago that I thought I was going to do stuff with, and now we've just got pellets in the backyard for no reason because I don't want them anymore. I'm thinking about just putting them out on the curb.
I got a great pallet project for you.
Wood. What?
Burn pit.
We don't. I would love to. I don't think it would be safe to burn in my backyard.
Ooh. Even in one of those nice round steel containers with the mesh top that you get?
Maybe if we could get one of those.
Yeah.
Because what I don't want is the ash floating up, having a little spark, catching our tree that hangs over our house on fire.
It won't really do that too bad with wood. That's paper that does that.
Oh my God!
I had 2 paper boxes full of paper from something that happened many years ago, and we burnt them, and I used chicken wire, and that stuff was going. It was flaming little I don't know what you would call them, but the paper would just literally lift up and float off, and I was so scared I was going to catch a neighbor's house on fire or tree or something. But wood is not too bad.
Flaming wisp.
Yeah,
it's just smoky. I don't know if there are any restrictions in my neighborhood. Every once in a while I see smoke coming from somewhere, but then I think that house is on fire. That's not recreational smoke.
Well, I think you can do a burn pit.
Maybe it is.
Or maybe it is.
Yeah.
You have Cheech and Chong as neighbors.
That's a 70s reference, Michael. She may not get that.
I saw Up in Smoke.
Okay.
Many times, actually. I think it was my brother's favorite. I like the part where they're sitting in the car thinking they're driving too fast, but they're just stopped.
Oh, those guys! You got to give those guys credit. They took absolutely no money, no nothing, and turned it into just an insane franchise. I mean, think what those movies cost to make.
Oh gosh.
Oh
yes.
Those guys are geniuses. Yeah.
Was that the one where the sheriff turned into a lizard?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. I've seen them, but I don't remember which is which.
There's a topic tonight: classic movies that Rebecca may or may not have not seen.
Hey, speaking of classic movies, that's what most of my Shop Squirrel is going to be talking about.
Oh, okay,
Classic
cool.
movies.
I don't know if
we don't consider movies
Yes.
from the two
Yes,
aughts to be classic.
classic movies, all
Okay.
of them, all three.
Stuff
So,
from this
like-
decade.
Animal House, Caddyshack,
Wayne's World.
Party Time, excellent.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe they did a commercial for the Super Bowl.
That was funny.
Did you guys watch the Super Bowl?
Nope.
I watched about the first half of it and then decided it was going to be a blowout and went to bed.
Yeah,
That
we
was
watched.
right.
We watched the first 3 quarters, and then we're like, we got to get out of here. Plus, we didn't want to be on the roads with all the drunks,
Yeah.
so we got
I
out
saw-
of there.
I saw a picture today of Tom Brady with a kid on his shoulders, but they could put Mahoney's face on the kid, and the title was "It's Take Your Kid to Work Day."
No, I didn't really watch the Super Bowl. My son came down and said he had a whole stack of games. Hey, you want to play some board games? And my wife said, you never asked to play games. Sure, we'll play board games. So we played board games all night last night. Card games and board games. So that was a fun night. Great night.
That
We had a
sounds
good time.
awesome.
It was a good night.
That sounds way better than watching the Super Bowl. Although I did get to pet a schnauzer that doesn't normally like people, so that made me very happy. Made my night. She growled at Henry.
Dogs make life so much better. They're wonderful.
They really do.
They really do. We're kind of lax for topics tonight, guys. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about what you're watching? Want to talk about what we've been listening to?
We can do
yeah.
watching.
Okay.
I have about, maybe 15 days left of HBO Max that I had to get so my daughter could see Wonder Woman 84 before she went back to school. So I've been watching their original series called Lovecraft Country.
Yes. How is it?
That
That's
thing.
actually part of it's filmed in the town that I teach, my class in
Really?
Chicago. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Ah,
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
cool.
What's it about?
It's a story about a black family in the Jim Crow era, and how their family is intertwined with this magic society from the South. It is just a really screwed up story, but it's one of those things that you just can't turn away from.
Yeah.
I can't not watch it. But I tell you, the 7th episode, whoever put that one together was on some really strong drugs that night. No spoilers. I won't give anything out, so I basically can't talk about the episode, but it is just so odd. But overall, it's a really great series.
So does it pick up after the first couple episodes? Because I think we watched the first maybe 1.5. And, okay. It was hard to get into at first, and I haven't watched past that yet, so I don't know.
It's all the same main characters, and it's like there's these little stories that happen, but then there's this overall arcing story that goes along with it, and all the little stories do tie into the arcing part of it. You just don't realize it until the end of each episode how it ties in.
Oh, okay. Okay, alright. Maybe I'll get back into that. Somebody else isn't interested, so that could be another show for just me.
There you go.
I need more. I need more so that I can stop watching Bob's Burgers over and over again.
Hey, the creator of Bob's Burgers has a new show coming out.
Does he?
She?
Who is it?
I can't remember the name of it, but I've seen it advertised a couple times now.
It's in the process of coming out, or it's already out?
It's coming out.
Okay.
It's another cartoon series.
Okay, because I think probably the same people that made Bob's Burgers made another show called The Great North.
I think that may be it.
And one of the main characters is voiced by Nick Offerman. It's so funny. It's dumb, but it's good so far. I've watched the first few.
It's dumb, but it's a good dumb.
Yes, it's a good dumb. It's a good fun dumb to watch. Highly recommend it if you want to watch something dumb.
What about Bob? What's Bob been watching?
Oh, wow. Bob has been watching... Go ahead.
Car restoration shows.
Well, maybe.
Pen
I don't want to
turning videos.
I don't want to give it away. You know, I rarely ever watch pen turning videos because I don't want to. You don't want to. I want my ideas to be mine. I don't want to be affected by them. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to lock myself into a box. But I have been watching Wanda Vision, which is bizarre and fun all at the same time, isn't it?
I've heard that was a little out there.
It's out.
So
It's cool, but it's starting this week. It's pieces are starting to come together. The puzzle's coming together. So I don't want to give it away for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. But if you watch the first couple episodes, you're thinking, "Oh my God, what in the world?" Hang in there. Mm-hmm. It gets better and it gets cool. Yeah. And I've been watching Graveyard Carz, which is a guy who takes old Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth muscle cars and rebuilds them back to factory specs. I mean, same type, same nuts, same bolts. I mean, these cars can go get graded, and they are, they won't lose points because he even oversprays the battery cables with orange paint from the motor, so it looks like it did when it rolled off the assembly line. And it's just really interesting to see, what he does and what they go through. And something that I haven't listened to, I've been listening to Sammy the Bull Gravano. You ever heard of Sammy the Bull? He was in the mafia with I just blanked out on his name. And they all got arrested. Well, he turned on the mafia, became an informant, and basically told his stories to the FBI and helped them put a lot of the mafia people in jail. And he served some time himself. He's out now. He's got a new podcast, which I just heard. Episode 2 should be out Friday, I think.
Oh, so this is a recent guy?
He's in his 70s. It was it John Gotti? It might have been. It might have been Gotti. I think it was John Gotti who John Gotti went down, and he basically, what happened is, while they were in prison, he was going to pin it all on Sammy the Bull and one other guy. They all got arrested together, and he said, "To hell with this." I mean, so much for Costa Nostra, which is respect, and they were going to pin it on him, everything, so that Gotti could walk free. And he said, "Heck no!" So he turned and he flipped and helped put Gotti away. So yeah, but he has a YouTube channel, Sammy the Bull Gravano, and he tells stories which are incredibly interesting. And then he has a podcast which is getting ready to have episode 2. Episode 1 was really good. It's just interesting. It's I don't want to idolize crime, but if you take a look at the other side of the mafia was really against drugs. Okay, they didn't want that. They were more into racketeering, right? Mm-hmm. Which doesn't make it better or worse. But the thing I find interesting is what they do call Costa Nostra, which is the respect, right? Respect for your community, respect for your family. When you become a made man, that's your family. It's like that man may not be your brother, but by God, he's your brother, right? And it's interesting to hear how it worked, And I learned of a new podcast that I just downloaded. Michael may be interested in this, and some of you guys out there who are pen turners, I haven't listened to it yet, so I can't vouch for whether it's any good or not, but it's called As the Pen Turns. And I subscribed to him over on Instagram, and then I subscribed to the podcast last night and downloaded. I think there's 8 or 9 episodes right now, and I'm going to catch up on it while I'm out in the garage. I don't know.
Who's the host for that?
The host for As the Pen Turns is, one second, I will look it up. There are 2 hosts, and bringing it up as the, whoops, whoops, you almost got the whole thing there. Let's see, episode Pen Turn. I am sure they have that in here, but yeah, you know what? I'm not seeing it. I know it's in here somewhere. That's okay. Just look up "As the Pen Turns" and you'll see.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a listen. I'm gonna give it a whirl and see how I like it. So.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah, something to listen to. Other than that's about it for me. Just odd and end stuff, but that's about it. I did watch a really cool video on YouTube about what's under the ice in Antarctica, and that was really cool. It was a kind of like a Discovery Channel, History Channel type thing, and they talked about Lake Vostok and all these lakes, and they actually are buried under miles of ice, and they found living organisms in them. And the neat thing about it is they're thinking about like Mars and these different planets. They have water deep beneath the surface of the planet. And because we can find life where there is no light and there's no air, it's an ecosystem all its own, that we could potentially find life on other planets. Bacterial-based life, obviously, but it's really cool. I know that's kind of nerdy, but I find that stuff interesting.
That sounds cool. Hey, I like all those weird animals, weird critters that live underwater. They're awesome.
Yeah,
so cool.
They are.
Okay, so I've got a much longer list than you guys, and I don't know how, because I don't have time to do all this. But I realize now that I listen to and watch so much during the week, but it's because my brain doesn't shut down, and if I'm doing one thing that has silence, I need to be listening to something else, even if it's just like I'm watching Bob's Burgers as background noise, or we've been going to the gym like I've been talking about, and I need to listen to or watch something while I'm on the elliptical, because that is so boring. Oh my goodness. I don't know how people can stand that with just nothing going on. And I mean, maybe they get into like the rhythm, and it's their process, maybe it's how they like decompress, but how can they do that in silence? Don't they get caught up in their head?
Some of us are just making sure that we don't die when we're on the elliptical.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna die. I actually went once without Henry, and I was on the elliptical for an entire hour, and I felt like I was gonna die. But it's because it has these settings where you can set your goal heart rate, and I was like, let's set it higher than usual. Well, you know what it does? When you set it higher than usual, it tries to make you reach that goal by putting the resistance all the way up. So it's like I'm trudging up a mountain the whole time, and then I wasn't going fast enough. So it's like, are you paused? You must be paused. You're not moving. And I'm like, no, I'm moving, I swear. What is going on? Everything's going crazy at my house right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been watching Bob's Burgers. I've also been watching Wanda Vision. Bob, you're right. Oh my gosh. It's getting good, and it's getting less weird, and it's starting to make a lot more sense, and things are coming together. So that's pretty cool. And then Parks and Recreation, we finally got Peacock. It sucks. I hate Peacock so far. It's terrible. It doesn't autoplay the next episode. That's the first thing I see very wrong with this, because you can't just binge watch. You have to actively go back in and then play the next episode. And I know that's me just being lazy, but if I'm in the middle of something, I don't want to stop every 46 minutes and re-upload everything and start again. I was like, that's not what this is all about. You're a streaming network. And now they're talking about adding another streaming network for Paramount? That's ridiculous. Why?
Yeah.
Why are there so many? It's like I'm paying for cable now with all the different things that I need to watch the micro movies and shows. Yes.
The Paramount streaming is actually CBS changing to Paramount. So it's not technically not a new one. It's just a renamed one. And I bet with
so that's
Peacock,
where I'll watch Clarice.
I bet the Peacock has the option to binge if you pay for the service.
Probably. No, you know what? No, I think Henry looked into it, and he said that that's the only thing that they don't give you is the option to auto play the next episode, because it's been a huge problem since they came out, and everybody has issues with it, but they just won't fix it, and I don't know why.
Do they put commercials between the episodes? Maybe that's their way of...
On the free version, yes. So we see commercials, but I think that's what you get rid of if you pay for it, if you feel like paying more money. But I don't know. We're not going to... I've vented long enough about Peacock. Anyways, we're using it to watch Parks and Recreation. And I think that's where we would watch The Office if we decide to rewatch it again soon, I believe. But I'm not sure. I think so. And then while my watching habits have been very upbeat, happy, somewhat weird in some cases with the Wanda Vision, I realize I'm listening to very dark stuff. So my list of listening to is My Favorite Murder, Morbid, The Murder Squad, and That's Messed Up, which is actually a new-ish podcast about these two women who've watched every single episode of Law and Order SVU. Yeah. And like dissect the episodes. They'll dissect the episodes. They actually had one. They they dissect the episodes. They talk about like different things that are wrong with what they're actually showing. Like that's not what happens in real life. They actually have actors and actresses come on that are on the episodes. And they interview them, like their experience with filming the SVU episodes, and then they go in and they talk about the murder or crime that the episode is based on and actually kind of look at all the different parallels. So it was really interesting.
Have they had Ice Cube on yet?
They might have. I don't know. I've only just started listening to that one. I keep hearing ads about
rapper.
It.
Wrong rapper. It's Ice-T.
Yeah, whoever it is.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I don't know my rap very well, but you're right. I just know Ice loves Coco is all I know.
And That's Messed Up is like his line, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they've had him on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make any sense not to. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. I've been listening to a lot of murder stuff and watching a lot of goofy, dumb things.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, I guess.
Well, Henry just isn't going to see it coming, is he?
No.
Nope.
And he knows, so he needs to watch out.
I've got a shovel and land to bury the body.
Now, you just tangent, Michael. Time for a tangent. You said shovel, and it clicked in my brain. For Christmas, okay, my daughter has a little boyfriend she started dating right before Christmas. Aww. So I have a photo of, and this will come full circle in a minute. I have a photo of her when she went out on a dance last year. She's dressed up in a beautiful blue dress, heels, hair done. And she's standing on the front porch, and I'm out there in my jeans and a T-shirt that's got DADD on it in red with like a Ghostbuster stripe through it. It says Dads Against Daughters Dating, and I got a shotgun on my hip. Well, I made a 5x7 and bought a frame, and that's what I gave this young man for Christmas. And so he opens it up and he starts laughing. I said, "You appreciate that?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It's better than what my dad got my sister's boyfriend." I said, "Really? What's that?" He said, "He got a shovel and he had his name engraved in it. It hangs on the wall of our garage." Dang, that is classic. Next boyfriend, shovel.
Got a shovel with your name on it, boy.
That's right. Got to protect them daughters.
Now watch, you won't ever get that chance. She'll stay with this guy through high school, go to college with him, get married.
That has happened, but boy, when you're as young as they are, the chances of that happening are not good.
Yeah.
So, but he's nice. He's a nice kid.
Not very many high school sweethearts last nowadays.
No.
Yeah. It's hard to resist telling my students that are in relationships that it's never going to last while they're mid-relationship, but every once in a while it just slips out. And they're like, "What?" I was like, No.
That boy's
2 months maybe.
You.
Maybe.
Yes, you're so harsh.
Like, you'll see. You'll look back and you'll be like, yeah, Miss DeGroot was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of my students don't like me.
Shall we have our first installment of the Shop Squirrel?
Ooh.
Shop Squirrel.
Well, may I make a suggestion? Why
Sure.
don't we take a break for just a moment and talk about our wonderful sponsor, and then we'll go straight into the Shop Squirrel segment. Is that okay?
That would be perfect.
Sure.
Michael's upset because I just overruled him.
Gosh. Well, I was going to talk about them because of the demo that I'm doing. I need to get my saber-toothed tree all set up, which you can see it behind me. It doesn't have the beautiful twinkly fairy lights on it right now. Well, it does. They're just not on. But I'm going to be doing some walking mushrooms later this week, which have a nice carved, curved neck. And so many people have been watching and requesting this demo that by now I'm really hoping that people are actually using our discount code for Sabertooth, YMT, at checkout to save 10% off of your entire online order. And then you too could get some incredible Sabertooth carving burrs for your carving needs, whether you want to carve some legs or spikes or curved necks for the mushrooms or texture on a cool pop box. I don't know, Bob. I think some of your pop boxes need some texture.
Let me get through a couple of these shows coming up this year if they happen.
Yeah. And you can find all that stuff and more at sabertooth.com. Sabertooth with 2 R's. Sabertooth.
Awesome.
That's all. See, that's the one that we should have recorded and play back. The one where I ramble on the most about Sabertooth. I did place an order. I still haven't gotten it yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting it so that I can have it set on the shelf for 3 months before I have time.
Boy.
Did you use discount code?
I used a different discount code that was for it was for something else though. I couldn't combine them. I wasn't allowed. Also, should I be using our discount code when I order from them? It seems like it's not fair.
You keep telling Bob and I to do it.
Well, because, yeah, Bob needs to. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of double standard here that I'm not allowed to do.
I already have a
why.
wife and a daughter who spend my money. I don't need another woman in my life spending my money. I don't have any money.
I'm saving you money, Bob. Saving.
See, that's called rational shopping. This is where you buy a new dress because you need, or you buy a new dress because you need change for gum. That's rational shopping. Okay, that is what you're doing. I went and bought a Christmas tree this year. We wanted a small Christmas tree for the bonus room, and of course, in the ad it said normally $99, now $49.95. So I go and I buy the Christmas tree, and
because
the lady
you saved $50.
She goes, "You just saved $50." I said, "No, I didn't. I just spent $50." And she looked at me kind of funny. I didn't save anything. I spent. Rational shopping. Think about it.
Sure. Okay, are we ready for our
saving? Would you consider it saving money if you had to spend the $99 and got the $50 back as a rebate?
Well, if you're buying tools, it's definitely saving money.
Yes.
That counts.
Yeah.
Okay, Shop Squirrel.
Shop Squirrel. Shop Squirrel.
We need a theme for Shop Squirrel.
Na 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 na. Shop Squirrel.
Shop Squirrel.
Shop
hey, that's
squirrel.
perfect.
Shop Squirrel.
Because
pow,
ooh,
boom, bang.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. And okay, perfect. Because of one of the Shop Squirrel facts. Did you read through them? You did.
No, not yet.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. First, Shop Squirrel. Note of interest, useless information, acorn of knowledge. Ooh. Like I said, we're going to be doing some classic movies and or at least recognizable films. The snow scenes in the film It's a Wonderful Life, which you watch.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Were shot during a record heat wave in Southern California.
It's very, very snowy in Vermont.
Yeah. Wayne's World was filmed in just 2 weeks. The entire thing. Done. And then last but not least, the 19-foot-long Batmobile used in the TV series Batman starring Adam West. Got only 4 miles to the gallon.
Mm-hmm.
4.
What's all that fire it was shooting out the back? It was wasting all the fuel.
Exactly.
That was built
Adam
on the
West.
frame of a... that was built on the frame of a Ford Futura.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a long frame. It's 19
That's
feet
a
long.
big car. That's a big
It's like
car.
a bus.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. All right, Shop Squirrel out.
Shop Squirrel out. You know, we got to come up with a name for that segment.
I have it right now as Blank from the Shop Squirrel.
I still like my after show recommendation from last week, but you guys
Please
won't let me use it.
I don't want.
How about roadkill knowledge from the Shop Squirrel?
I don't want my Shop Squirrel to die.
Okay. It's just every time you see a squirrel, they're squished, right?
No, we've got squirrels all over the place. Have you seen those little picnic tables that people make for squirrels? And they'll put a little pile of like bird seed on them. And they'll sit in the picnic tables.
Oh God.
I wanted to make those and like set them out for free around my neighborhood. Like here's a little picnic table for your squirrels. But then I think we'd have a squirrel problem.
Yeah, squirrel apocalypse.
Or you'd find out that you have the kids in your neighborhood who would put super glue on them and make squirrel traps.
Oh no. No.
I got it.
Taxidermy, have the squirrels sitting there eating a picnic.
Rabid facts with the Shop Squirrel.
Ah.
I know it's terrible. I'm always thinking though.
I'll add that to my list of possible titles.
In other words, no. I know what that means. No.
No. I'll think about that. No, you won't.
No, I will though. I'm always thinking about stupid stuff. All right. Dad jokes.
This brings us to a perfect segue to dad jokes. Bob.
Yeah. One of my sons hollered in the other day at me, "Hey, Dad, did you get your hair cut?" No, I had them all cut. That didn't work, huh? I didn't get a haircut.
Very similar to our earlier conversation.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, did you get? Come on, guys. A haircut? No, I got them all cut. Come on, people. A hair versus all. I got to explain the joke. Okay, so it wasn't that great.
You said, "Did you get your hair cut?"
Yeah.
Set it up wrong.
Oh, did I? I never was very good at dad jokes.
Wait, what? You're supposed to be a natural.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think we're all looking up dad jokes at this point.
I'm just checking to make sure Tim Wadley didn't send me any more that we haven't already told recently.
Yeah, I had a nice conversation with Tim Wadley this week.
Did you? What'd you guys talk about?
We were chatting. He sent me a note that said only 2 chucks. I think he's got. I forget how many. He's got like 20 some odd of them, like 28 or some large number.
28.
So it was a huge number of chucks.
Wait,
yeah,
chucks or jaws
Chucks.
for chucks?
Chucks.
Tim, what?
And I said, yeah. So that's what I was saying, because that's a lot of chucks. But he said, he said he would do demonstrations of different things, and people would, pay him with a chuck or something. I'm looking to see if I can find the message here now to see if I can tell you how many chucks Tim Wadley has. Here we go. Only 2 chucks. That's what 22. Two.
Oh my!
He is the Taylor Swift of chucks. 22.
What?
Did that song 22? I'm 22, but I have a daughter who loves Taylor Swift. So,
which means you love Taylor
Swift. Which means when we go out and she and I are driving in my car, she Bluetooths her phone to the stereo, hooks up Spotify, and I have just another picture to burn, baby. I hear all the Tay-Tay songs.
Oh, just wait until she moves on from Tay-Tay to Panic at the Disco.
Oh, yeah. Then we might get along.
Does one move from Taylor Swift to Panic at the Disco?
We can only hope.
My daughter did.
We can only hope.
Interesting. I really liked Panic at the Disco.
That's going to be the title of tonight's episode.
I've been listening to a lot of Smash Mouth, actually.
Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Did they have more than one album?
You had a couple.
I think so. I don't know what they are.
The first album and the soundtrack to Shrek. That's all I know.
Yeah. They just didn't have the success. I've been listening lately to a lot of everything because I've been listening to a lot of albums, but I was listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers today.
Ooh, that's a station I play in my class, and students actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
They consider it old people music.
Old people music, yes. Well, it was from the 90s, and none of them were probably born then.
No.
Yeah, most of them were born in the 2000s, actually, which is crazy to think about. Well, all of them.
See, they made me think of something.
Oh, my gosh.
But back when the Chili Peppers were big, there was another group, and I can't remember anything they did. I cannot even think of one song, but you remember a group, and when you said Smash Mouth, it reminded me of, again, Smashing Pumpkins. What the heck did they do? What was their big song? They had to have at least one.
I have a few of them on a mixtape that somebody made for me.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Was this a young man in high school that may have been sweet on you?
No. It was a friend. It was just a friend.
Oh, so it's friend zone guy. Okay.
Friend zone guy. Yeah, banished to the friend zone.
We've all been there, haven't we, guys? Yes, we
I
have.
still am. I'm married and I'm still in the friend zone.
Rebecca,
Smashing
dad
Pumpkins.
joke?
Oh, I got two. One from Jim Rumsey. I pulled a muscle while digging for gold. It was a minor injury. And then from Tim Wadley. See, I had to look really far back for this one. I asked my date to meet me at the gym. She didn't show up. That's when I knew we weren't going to work out.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
Mr. 22 Chucks.
It's crazy.
That's a lot of Chucks.
Where do you even keep them all?
I'd have to have a shop for my Chucks.
Right?
Yeah. It is something I'm working on. I have 4 sets of jaws, and I am working on a rack. Well, I haven't started collecting heavily like you, Rebecca, but I'm working on a rack to hang those on. That's something I forgot to mention during the "What are you working on?" section. But I'm working on a rack for my Chuck jaws.
Nice.
Because I can never find them. There's always one missing, right? I can find 3, but number 4, I have no idea where it's at.
Oh, see, I don't know that I have that problem. I've lost a couple of the screws. Yeah, those go missing in the sawdust.
I think I'm just going to mount a big magnet up there right by the jaws and just stick them all to that.
Mm-hmm. I want a magnet broom or a magnet like rake thing. Yeah, Michael.
Well, they make those.
I know. I've heard. What's your dad
We've
joke?
got them at work. Dad joke.
Dad joke. Dad joke.
Karl Marx is an historically famous figure, but nobody ever mentions his sister, Anya, who invented the starting pistol.
Anya Marks?
Anya Marks. I have one from Rosetta, but it's really long.
Ooh, tell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A tourist in Vienna goes through a graveyard, and all of a sudden he hears music. No one is around, so he starts searching for the source. He finally locates the origin and finds it is coming from a grave with a headstone that reads Ludwig van Beethoven, 1770 to 1827. Then he realizes that the music is the Ninth Symphony and is being played backward. Puzzled, he leaves the graveyard and persuades a friend to return with him. By the time they arrive back at the grave, the music has changed. This time it is the Seventh Symphony, but like the previous piece, it is being played backward. Curious, the men agree to consult a music scholar. But when they return with the expert, the Fifth Symphony is playing again backward. The expert notices that the symphonies are being played in the reverse order in which they were composed. The Ninth, then the Seventh, then the Fifth. By the next day, the word has spread, and a throng has gathered around the grave. They are all listening to the Second Symphony, being played backwards. Just then, the graveyard's caretaker ambles up to the group. Someone in the group asks him if he has an explanation for the music. Don't you get it? The caretaker says incredulously. He's decomposing.
Oh, man.
Ew.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
But it's
that was
good,
a
bad.
long setup to get to the punchline.
You know, sometimes those jokes can be good. Those long setup jokes, and sometimes meh.
I appreciate that. I think it
it
fits well with my murder podcasts.
All right, let's share social medias and get the heck out of here.
All right. Rebecca?
We've been at this for over an hour.
Okay.
I know, and we've done nothing.
And that's even if you don't include the first recording, which I completely screwed up.
Don't know what you're talking about. What first recording?
What first recording?
You can find me, Rebecca DeGroot, as my name on Facebook and YouTube. RebeccaDeGroot.com is my website. Rebecca_DeGroot is Instagram. And Etsy, RebeccaDeGrootStudio, no spaces. Redbubble, which I plan on adding a couple new things to hopefully soon. The school, for whatever reason, blocked Redbubble. Don't know why. RebeccaDeGrootStudio with spaces. It's such a crazy website. They need to block it. It's t-shirts.
No, it's porn. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Redbubble. That must be something inappropriate. What is this Redbubble?
And for me, it's Lost River Pens on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and my website, lostriverpens.com.
And you can find me at RJBWoodturner on YouTube, RJBWoodturner on Instagram, and my vlog channel on YouTube is WhatchaDoinBob.
Thanks for tuning in this week, everyone. Once again, please share, like, subscribe, tell everyone about the show. Maybe we can get a few new listeners. Oh, and a little news about the show. We have surpassed 11,000 downloads now.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my
9,999 of those have been me, but hey.
Hey, somebody's got to do it.
somehow.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
That's right. So everybody, thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it. Everybody have a safe week. Stay healthy and turn the news off. Go outside. Get some fresh air. Read a book.
Find a squirrel. Don't glue it
And
to
make
a
him your
picnic
friend.
table. Yes.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Buenos noches.
Shop Squirrel says bye.